Hey everyone, and welcome. If you're really trying to push for that band 7.5 or even higher on the IELTS, then you are in the perfect place. Today, we're going to build a really powerful toolkit of words that are designed to take your academic English to the next level. Okay, let's just dive right in. So, let me kick things off with a question. What's the real secret to a top score? Is it all about using these huge, complicated, big words? Well, not really. The students who get the highest scores, they don't just use big words, they use the exact right word to get a complex idea across with, perfect clarity. And that's exactly what we're focusing on today. I want you to think of these next 10 words not just as vocabulary, but as your secret academic weapons. Seriously, mastering these will give you a huge edge in your essays and your speaking tests. So, are you ready to build that arsenal? Let's get straight into our 10 keywords. We're going to break them down one by one, make them super simple to understand, and even easier to remember. First up, we've got ameliorate. It's a verb, and it just means to make a bad or difficult situation better. In Turkish, that's iyileştirmek. So for an IELTS essay, you might write something like, the government has introduced new policies to ameliorate the effects of the recession. And what about in daily life? Well, you could try to ameliorate your friend's bad mood by buying them a coffee. Simple as that. Next, we have autonomy. This is a noun, and it means independence or, the freedom to make your own choices. In Turkish, özerlik. In a discussion about education, you could talk about learner autonomy, which is so important for helping students manage their own progress. And for a fun, everyday example, just think of the show Bluey. The kids are often given the autonomy to decide what game the family is going to play next. Our third word is corroborate. This is such a fantastic verb. It just means to confirm or support a statement with some kind of evidence. In Turkish, doğrulamak. An academic example would be, further research is needed to corroborate the initial findings of the trial. And on a simpler level, if, like 3 of your friends all tell you a new restaurant is amazing, their opinions corroborate each other. They're backing each other up. Now for dichotomy. This is a noun and it describes a really sharp contrast between two things that are complete opposites. Turkish, ikilem. In an essay, you could discuss the dichotomy between economic growth and environmental protection. And for a great pop culture reference, think about the dichotomy in Breaking Bad between Walter White's super precise chemistry skills and Jesse Pinkman's chaotic street smarts. You've got these two opposites but incredibly powerful forces. Number 5 is egalitarian. This is an adjective, and it means something is based on the idea that all people are equal. In Turkish, that's eşitlikçi. You could write about the goal of creating an egalitarian education system. And if you want a really simple example, in the world of Peppa Pig, you could say Madame Gazelle promotes an egalitarian approach to sharing toys in the playgroup. Making sure everybody gets a turn. All right, let's move on to empirical. This adjective means something is based on real-world observation and evidence, not just some abstract theory. In Turkish, it's deneysel. Scientists provide empirical evidence to support their theories. And for a funny daily example, let's say you find empirical evidence, like you find the chocolate wrappers under their bed, that your roommate has been stealing your snacks. You've got proof. Our 7th word is formidable. This describes something that inspires respect, or maybe a little bit of fear because it's just so powerful or difficult. Türkiye'şçe, ürkütücü derecede güçlü. You could write that climate change presents a formidable challenge to humanity. And in pop culture, just imagine stepping into a rap battle against a formidable opponent like Eminem. Now that is a huge challenge. Next up, holistic. This adjective is all about the big picture. It's about understanding that all the parts of something are interconnected and make up a whole. Turkish, bütünsel. So you might talk about a holistic approach to city planning that considers jobs, housing, and green spaces all together. And in your own life, a holistic approach to your health would include your diet, your exercise, your sleep, and your mental well-being. It's the whole package. Okay, here's a really powerful one. Irrevocable. It means it's final, it's permanent, and it's impossible to change or reverse. In Turkish, geri dönülemez. Scientists often warn that the extinction of a species is an irrevocable loss. And hey, here's a little memory trick for you. An irrevocable decision is kind of like a bad tattoo you got while listening to Maroon 5. It's permanent. And our final word for the list is nuance. It's a noun that refers to a subtle, fine detail or a little shade of meaning. In Turkish, it's nuance. And what's really cool is that understanding nuance is key to the IELTS test itself. To get that Band-Aid, you have to appreciate the subtle nuances of academic language. And in everyday life, it's understanding the nuance in your friend's voice when they say, "I'm fine." We all know that can mean a lot of different things. Okay, so you've met the words. You've been introduced. Now let's see them perform out in the wild. We're going to take a look at an IELTS-style academic passage and see how these words all come together to build a really powerful argument.
Okay, let's have a look at this passage. I'm just going to read the first sentence out loud, and you'll immediately see how these words create such a strong academic tone. In the 21st century, policymakers face formidable obstacles as they attempt to restructure national education systems. See, that word formidable instantly tells us this challenge is huge. It's serious. The full passage uses all 10 of our words, so now let's break it down and see how each one fits in.
So as you see here, the passage talks about formidable obstacles. These are massive challenges. The goal is an egalitarian framework, a system where everyone's equal. And to get there, we have to ameliorate or improve social inequalities. The writer rejects what they call a false dichotomy, that misleading contrast between two ideas. Instead, they argue for a holistic model that promotes learner autonomy, a student's independence. Of course, this idea needs to be proven with empirical data, which can corroborate the theory. And educators have to see the subtle nuances in what students need, because if they don't, it could cause an irrevocable loss. See how all these words connect to make a really sophisticated argument? It's brilliant.
Now, academic passages are great, but you know what really makes words stick? Stories. So, to really lock these 10 words into your memory for good, I'm going to tell you a super short story. Let's take a quick trip to a place called Harmony Hills. Once upon a time in Harmony Hills, there was a strange dichotomy between the birds who lived in the high clouds and the bears who lived down in the deep caves. One winter, a formidable snowstorm covered the entire valley. The great owl decided it was time to ameliorate the situation. He dreamed of an egalitarian society, one where every animal had an equal share. To start, a clever raccoon began to gather empirical data, counting every last berry in the forest. The rabbits helped corroborate his findings by double-checking all the numbers. The owl insisted on a holistic rescue plan. It wasn't just about food, but also about sharing warmth and telling stories. He gave the young foxes the autonomy to decide how to organize their dens. And as they all worked, they noticed the subtle nuances in the patterns of the melting snow. Finally, they made an irrevocable decision to build a great bridge connecting the clouds to the caves, ensuring no one would ever have to face a storm alone again. Simple enough, right? So we see the dichotomy between the birds and the bears. They face the formidable storm and see the need to ameliorate things. The owl dreams of an egalitarian society. The raccoon gets empirical data, which the rabbits corroborate. The plan is holistic. The foxes have autonomy. They notice nuances in the snow. And all together, they make an irrevocable decision. Now those words feel a bit more alive, don't they?
All right, it is time for the final challenge. Let's test out your new skills with a quick quiz. Don't worry, this is just for fun, just to see how much has already stuck. Let's see how many you can get right. Okay, here's how it's going to work. I'll read each question, and then I'll just pause for about 3 seconds. And you should definitely feel free to pause the explainer if you want more time to think. Then I'll reveal the answer, so keep track of your score. Question 1. Providing internet access would significantly blank the educational gap. Is it B, ameliorate, or C, irrevocable? The answer is B, ameliorate, which means to make a bad situation better. Question 2. Modern management styles often grant employees more blank. Is that A, empirical, or C, autonomy? The correct answer is C, autonomy, which means independence. Question 3. The witness was able to blank the defendant's story with photos. Is it A, corroborate, or B, ameliorate? The answer is A, corroborate, meaning to confirm it with evidence. Question 4. We are more connected, yet lonelier. This is a strange blank. Is that B, nuance, or C, dichotomy? The answer is C, dichotomy, which is a contrast between two opposite things. Question 5. In a blank society, healthcare quality shouldn't depend on income. Is it A, irrevocable, or B, egalitarian? And the answer is B, egalitarian, which is based on equality. All right, halfway there. How's it going so far? Okay, question 6. Scientists require empirical evidence like measurable data. Is that B, empirical, or C, ameliorate? The answer is B, empirical, which is based on real-world observation. Question 7. Cleaning up the world's oceans is a formidable challenge. Is that A, nuance, or B, formidable? That would definitely be B, formidable, a huge and difficult challenge. Question 8. The doctor took a holistic approach looking at diet and stress. A, holistic, or C, dichotomy? The answer is A, holistic, which means looking at the whole picture. Question 9. Once the contract is signed, the agreement becomes B, corroborate, or C, irrevocable. The correct answer here is C, irrevocable, because it's final and it can't be changed. And last one, question 10. You must learn the subtle nuances of a language's idioms. Is it B, nuances, or C, dichotomies? The answer is B, nuances. Those small, subtle differences in meaning.
So, how'd you do? Here are all the answers right here on one screen. Go ahead and add up your score and then post it in the comments below. And hey, don't be shy. Every single correct answer is a fantastic step forward. And that wraps us up for today. So here's the most important takeaway. Mastering precise, academic words like these is your fastest path to sounding more advanced and getting that higher score you're working for. You've just added 10 really powerful words to your toolkit. You've totally got this. Keep up the amazing work.